Asian Games after being diagnosed with a bulging disc. National team manager Gabby Cooey confirmed the bad news, saying that the TNT star has been advised to rest for a week before entering rehabilitation. Gilas head coach Tim Cone, on the other hand, says it's possible that Ginebra center Greg Slaughter may be inserted to the final lineup as a last-minute replacement.
The Philippines' four-man lineup for the SEA Games 3x3 basketball tournament has also been announced by the Samahan Basketball ng Pilipinas, which took place on November 24. Team Philippines' dynamic crew consists of PBA rookie sensation CJ Perez, high flyer Chris Newsome, and athletic bigs Jason Perkins and Mo Tautua. The 3x3 tournament begins on December 1 at the Phil Oil Flying V Center in San Juan.
The Southeast Asian Games fever nearly reached fever pitch as the final leg of the SEA Games torch run commenced in Angeles, Pampanga. To know more about the symbolic gathering, here's Ryan C. with a special report.
We're only 1 week away from the official start of the 30th Southeast Asian Games. And here at Bayanihan Park, we are here for the final leg of the torch run.
2,500 people joined us today at Bayanihan Park, running to show their support for our Filipino athletes in this year's Southeast Asian Games.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1!
The third and final leg of this year's torch run was led by several prominent Filipino athletes, including women's volleyball team middle blocker Majoy Baron and two-time Olympic swimmer Jasmine Alcalde. Among the torchbearers was none other than the Grammy Award-winning artist and Pampanga native, Apple de App.
Well, masaya-masaya kami, no? Alam mo naman, kasama kayo. Nanggaling kami ng Davao, nanggaling kami ng Cebu, ngayon nandito sa Pampanga. Papasalamat kami sa lahat ng mga Kapampangan na sumuporta ngayon. And everyone's very excited.
Masaya kami. Lahat ng Kapampangan masaya. Lahat excited. Alam namin, meron talagang maraming biyaya na pupunta sa Pampanga.
We win as one is very, very important. That's why we all need to root for our athletes so that they would hear all our support and they will compete much better and they will perform much better for not only for them but for the Philippines.
We may compete, but our greatest feat is when we win as one. That is the theme of this year's competition, one that will start in T-minus 7 days. This is Ryan C. for One Sports.
The Philippine polo team kicked off the competition for the 30th Southeast Asian Games when they faced Brunei on Sunday, November 24. Team Brunei came out on top 8.5 to 8, but were all praises for the home team who put up a great fight. Quick to brush off the tough loss, Philippine team defeated Malaysia 8.5 to 5 on November 26 and continued its gallant display against Indonesia on November 28th.
The under-22 Philippine Ascals settled for a 1-1 draw against Cambodia in the 2019 SEA Games men's football tournament opener on November 25. Cambodia scored the first goal in the 40th minute, which forced the young Ascals to play catch-up the rest of the way. Dennis Chung, however, saved the day for the Philippine team as he drilled the equalizer during the second half of the match. After settling for a stalemate, the Philippine Ascals took aim at netting their first 3 points when they faced Myanmar on November 27 at the Rizal Memorial Stadium.
The host nation got its first wins in the 2019 Southeast Asian Games courtesy of Philippine floorball contingent. The women's team got the ball rolling with an outstanding 8-1 win over Indonesia at the Human Kinetics Gymnasium in Quezon City on November 25. Not to be outdone, though, the men's squad followed it up with a clutch performance to edge out their Indonesian counterparts 5-4. But despite the Philippines' early success, Thailand remains as the favorite to win SEA Games gold.
The Philippine team forced reigning silver medalist Indonesia to a 6-6 draw at the start of the 2019 SEA Games men's water polo competitions on November 26. Paolo Serrano came up huge for the home team as he converted a penalty shot with less than 3 minutes left to even up the score. Meanwhile, it was the Philippines goalie Tani Gomez who stepped up on the defensive end to hold off the Indonesians' final rally. The Philippine men's water polo team then took another bruising assignment as they faced Thailand on November 28. That's it for our news rundown, but keep it locked in here because we still have a lot in store for you to keep you hyped for the games.
Later, we'll interview the leading ladies of the Philippine beach volleyball team, followed by a chat with two very important members of the Philippine esports team. Catch all of that and more when we return.
Welcome back to In Focus. It's time once again to meet the Philippine team's top bets for the Southeast Asian Games here on Gold Medal Quest. We've got a pair of special guests here with us. They are considered as the #1 team of the Philippine women's beach volleyball contingent. Please give it up for Sisi, Rondina, and Bernadeth Pons. Hi, Sisi. Hi, Pons. You know, we have been watching your career since you were in college until you turned professional. And we are very excited that you are representing, of course, the sport that we've known you for. But we will be seeing you differently. You will be playing for the beach volleyball. Now, first and foremost, tell us, how did your tandem begin?
Nung paglipat ko ng Petron po, doon na nag-start kasi may beach volleyball din sa PSL. So, doon nag-start yung pinakaunang tandem namin hanggang marami ng mga liga na beach volleyball sa mga outside liga. Kami yung nagtatandem.
Siguro it's very interesting to know how did you find out that you guys have that chemistry na kayong dalawa can be together in one team to play beach volleyball, considering that you've been used to playing that 6-man team indoor volleyball?
Ang parehas kasi namin love yung beach volleyball. So every time na naglalaro kami, gusto talaga namin yung ginagawa namin, kahit mainit, kahit mahirap. Parang ina-enjoy lang namin lagi.
Mainit, mahirap, that is really something notable when you watch. I mean, when kami, as viewers, when we watch beach volleyball. So tell us, this will be a different kind of, challenge for you coming into the SEA Games. How are you preparing for it?
September pa lang kami nagtitraining po. Nalaman namin na kami daw yung maglalaro for beach volleyball. So, masaya kami kasi ulit papartner na naman kami. And then, mahirap kasi September pa lang nag-training kami pero meron pa kaming liga na hindi pa tapos, which is yung indoor namin, invitational namin. So, ang ginawa namin is kinausap namin lahat ng coaches namin like sa beach volleyball and indoor na gagawin namin to na magta-twice a day kami lagi or even thrice kasi kailangan namin mas makaipon ng endurance eh. And wala siyang problema, wala rin akong problema. So, mga coaches wala rin. Basta ang sabi sa amin, as long as committed kami sa lahat ng mga ginagawa namin, walang problema.
That is very good to hear because that is a description that supporters like us, fans like us, want to hear. Commitment from the athletes representing the country. So, can you describe to us what kind of feeling do you have now as, that high-level kind of athletes representing the country na makikipaglaban kayo, bringing the flag on your shoulders in the Southeast Asian Games?
Una-una, sobrang thankful kami kasi nabigyan kami ng opportunity for the second time na i-represent yung Philippines sa Southeast Asian Games. Yun, tapos syempre excited na din kami sa darating na SEA Games kasi matagal naming inantay to kasi kami din yung nag-SEA Games noong last 2017. So parang hindi namin nakuha yung goal namin doon. Pero nakita namin na kaya namin and ito yung time ulit na makabawi kami. So, yan.
So, speaking of makabawi, I'm sure you guys have been scouting the other teams participating in the event. Who do you think are you really going to watch out for to get that gold?
Ang team to beat talaga dyan, Indonesia, Thailand. Kasi nung naglaro kami yung 2017, dikitan lang kami. And sila din yung nag-champion yung Indonesia. So, wala, di pa naman, bilog pa rin naman yung bola, na naniniwala pa rin naman kami na matatalo namin sila.
That's the kind of confidence that we need, and I'm pretty sure the recent win that you had with the Ribisco Beach Volleyball International Open really has boosted your confidence for the upcoming SEA Games. So, what did that add on to your composure, to your focus, and to the kind of confidence that you will bring into the SEA Games?
Ayun, sobrang laking tulong sa amin yung league na yon ng Ribisco nung last week. Kasi may nakakalaban kaming mga international countries na mas matitest pa namin kung hanggang saan na yung kaya namin, tas kung ano pa yung mga kailangan namin i-improve. So nung game namin na yon, sobrang dami namin nakita na ito pa yung kulang natin na kailangan natin i-improve para sa SEA Games maayos na yung magiging galaw namin.
That is, again, that is good to hear that you have that kind of self-awareness
Yes.
coming into the competition. So, you said you're becoming more aware of those shortcomings and those advantages. But let's focus on advantages. Saan magaling ang tandem na Sisi and Pons coming into the SEA Games? Saan dapat matakot ang ibang bansa?
Ganda. My opinion naman po, magmamatter yan sa tandem talaga. Kung paano mo dalhin yung partner mo, kung paano nyo laruin yung laro. Kasi, kumbaga ba, pag kilala nyo na yung isa't isa sa loob ng court, alam mo na kung may problema ba or hindi. Tsaka kung gusto nyo talagang manalo, wala namang imposible. So, advantage siguro dyan, kung sino yung gustong-gustong manalo, yun yung makakuha.
Ayun, una, home court advantage tayo kasi host tayo. Tayo yung host ngayon. So, in-expect din namin na marami yung manonood at magsusupport sa amin. And then, kasi Southeast Asia naman, paras-paras lang tayo ng galaw. Mabibilis, hindi naman ganun katangkaran. Pero, syempre, dalawa lang naglalaro. So, pautakan talaga and kailangan hindi basta-basta mag-give up kahit pagod na. Kasi dalawa lang talaga gagalaw eh. So, nakakapagod talaga siya. Pero, mindsetting lang talaga. So, lagi naman kami nag-uusap na kailangan i-enjoy lang namin yung ginagawa namin kahit nahihirapan kami. And gustuhin lang namin lagi na maipanalo yung mga games namin.
Now, I just want to let you know that, of course, the rest of the country is supporting you all the way. And I would like to invite you to please let everyone support you for the upcoming SEA Games.
Iniimbitahan po namin kayong manood sa SEA Games sa Subic Tennis Courts sa November 29 to December 6 po. And ayun, magkita-kita po tayo doon. And itataas namin yung bandera. Sabay-sabay po natin itataas yung bandera ng Pinoy.
Maraming salamat, Sisi,
you.
Rondina, Bernadeth, Pons.
Thank you so
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have here with the dynamic duo, Sisi, Rondina, and Bernadeth Pons. However, we implore you to keep it locked in here because there's a lot more to discuss when In Focus returns.
Ako si Yumir Felix de los Santos Masial, tubong Zamboanga City, member ng Philippine National Boxing Team. Before Asian Games, siguro mga 10 days na lang yon. Sobrang condition na ako nung time na yon. Kaso dahil sa sobrang condition ko, yung suntok ko, hindi nakayanan ng kamay ko na nagka-injury ako. Pagka-injury ko noon, start noon 10 days hanggang Asian Games, hindi ko na ginamit yung kamay ko. Pinahinga ko na lang. So pagdating sa Asian Games, after ng unang laban, sobrang maga na yung kamay ko. Yung mga doktor, ginawa na lang nila ng paraan, ginamot nila para hanggang nakaabot ako ng semifinal. Kaya sabi ko sa akin, what if kung wala akong injury? Wala akong nararamdaman, condition ako. Mas malaki yung chance na makakwalify ako sa Olympic at makuha natin yung gold medal sa Olympic.
focus. Get ready to meet the men guiding the country's national esports team to the #1 spot in the Southeast Asian Games, here on Gold Medal Quest. Esports has been big here in the country, and we're about to know why. Please give it up for Alvin Huban, the national manager of SIBOL, and its Hearthstone team manager, Richard Castillo. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so before we begin here and really delve into the games itself, a lot of people will be wondering what goes into actually creating a national team for esports. This is the first time the Philippines is having a national team for esports, and a lot of people are wondering how similar or how different would it be compared to normal sports, let's say basketball, football, and all those other sports compared to esports.
Well, we actually had to undergo the same traditional process. We did have a combine. We did invite the best players we could find around the country, and we matched them. We matched them together, and we had to create a national pool. And from that pool, we had a selection committee to mix and match, the best formula, the best mix of players possible. So we are going towards the way the other traditional sports have been doing it over time.
Well, I understand also that since this is a first for a Philippine national team for esports, and I can only imagine just how different it is for you going into this and actually creating a national team for a sport that really hasn't ventured into being a national team sport, if that makes any sense.
Yes, we had to understand a lot of the protocols that had to be obeyed.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely, and for sure, we had to conform to a lot of written information. Oh my God, written information, data, which which most guys are not accustomed to doing. And another thing is, esports is new. It's a new entry, and it's a late entry actually to the Southeast Asian Games. So besides assembling and preparing the teams, we even had to raise funding to stage a really good presentation for esports. This is a historic first for us. So we had to make sure that we would get the best partners, the best sponsors, the best supporters that we could find to assemble the best presentation. And it's been quite a journey, my friend.
Well, Richard, you handle one of those teams, specifically the Hearthstone teams. And, again, he mentioned a while ago just forming everything, the combines, trying out players, making sure that you have the best available talent. Can you talk about the challenges and the roles that you are discovering as you go through this process?
Challenges. I think the only thing different right now is, to be honest, first is the players right now already has global experience. So in terms of their practice, their schedule, things like that, we're basically doing the same thing that they've been doing for years. The only thing different right now for esports being part of the Southeast Asian Games is that we're basically ramping up everything, like ×2, practices ×2, hours consumed for tournament is ×2. So basically, we're just scaled up everything that we've been doing, everything that's been effective for us all this time. So in terms of discovery, I think the only thing different is right now they're fully committed. They're full time here for preparation for Philippines for Southeast Asian Games. So back then, they're just for themselves, for the team. So the only thing different right now it's for the country, not just for them.
Actually, you hit on a very interesting point because, as you mentioned, all of these athletes have competed in a global stage because of the nature of the game. You compete with people from wherever in the world and in certain tournaments, and hopefully you do well there. But then, can you delve deeper into just how much more committed they are, knowing that they're not just representing who they are online, but rather the flag they're wearing on their chest?
I think one of the good example of commitment is both our players basically drop everything that they're doing. I think one of them has a contract with, of course, a big company that they had to hold just so they can fully commit for training and up until SEA Games, which I think is understandable for the company, and they're okay with it. And then another player just came back from retirement just to compete because who doesn't want to represent the Philippines? So he came back from competitive retirement just for this, and he basically knocked it out of the park. And even in training right now, they're doing really good. So I think I have high hopes for us.
Yeah.
Not only for Hearthstone, but for the other teams as well.
Well, actually, now, Sir Alvin, you mentioned that some people come out of retirement, some people hold off contracts. Just how big of a deal is it in the esports community that maybe not a lot of the people who are in the sports world know about or have their ear on the ground as much? Just how much noise is SIBOL making in terms of like having people wanting to be part of it, having people really interested in their developments and how they are doing?
I guess one good bit of news. Okay, usually, let's admit it, in esports there's a lot of negativity. It's always hounded, because it's all online, it's all social. But we were surprised when we announced SIBOL as the national team. It's all the remarks on social media has been positive. So we're swinging, I guess, in the right direction, because now I guess people are beginning to understand, hey, this is not a prize pool tournament. It's for country. And this is something really good for esports. We see as esports in the Philippines still nascent. It's still young.
Yeah.
And we all want it to grow in the right direction. And that's what we're heading on to.
Well, I want to figure out now how the preparation actually goes for these players, the actual training process. Because in the very essence of it, these are games that are not necessarily have been seen as, let's say, as sports compared to sports yet, right? I mean, like, there's still that debate whether esports actually is a sport and all that. But then you ask all of these esports athletes that, hey, we train as hard as the regular athletes or quote-unquote regular athletes of other sports. Can you give us a walkthrough of how these guys actually prepare? And it's not just quote-unquote play.
That's correct. That's a running debate. You are right. For normal, competitive esports players, you have to understand that they have to make thousands of decisions in seconds.
Yeah.
That takes a discipline to cultivate over time. The dedicated hours for each player. Since we're also conscious about their physical well-being, we try to limit it to 8 hours. But right now, since the SEA Games coming up, we're pushing it a bit over 8. Sometimes it goes to 10. So and if you look at any other sports, it's the same thing. Now in esports, we also have what we call a boot camp, and we're lucky that we have one of the best boot camps that you can ever find in this country, and one of the best, I guess, comparable to anywhere else in the Southeast Asia or Asia. It's and we have that. Having a boot camp, as we do, gives us the opportunity for isolation and focus in what we're doing. So far we've been getting the best of training methodologies, I guess, which other sports do as well.
Could you give a message to all our viewers right there, just to invite them to watch your games, support you guys, and your promise to them coming to the SEA Games?
So in behalf of the first ever Philippine national team for esports, we at Team SIBOL invite the Filipino public to take time out to watch our competition, which will start on December 5 and will go on until December 10. This will be happening at the San Juan Arena. So it's still in Metro Manila. We have a very humble preparation, but it will be it is something that we are hoping will give the best presentation that the Philippines can give the whole world. As what we are doing in the Philippines is historic. It's historic for the region, historic for the Filipino people, and it's historic for the sport. So again, we hope to see you there. If you cannot make it to the stadium, if you cannot make it to the arena, we hope you do watch it here on these channels and on stream. Wish us luck. We will need your constant prayers and support. And we promise you that we will give you our best from the Philippine national team. Lakad matatag.
Well, gentlemen, it was great talking to you both, and we wish you all the best. Now, be sure to cheer for SIBOL when game time begins. As for now, we'll have a quick break, but keep it locked here in Focus. We'll be right back.
Ako si Joey De Los Reyes, tubong Begang Isabela City, Basilan, member ng Philippine National Duathlon Team. Nag-aaral po ako nung elementary sa Kilometer 6 Begang Isabela City, Basilan. Pag-high school ko din po sa Begang National High School. Then sa college ko po sa Zamboanga City sa Western Mindanao State University. Nakapasok ako sa larong duathlon. Nung una po, elementary pa lang po ako, mahilig talaga po ako sa sports. sa mga baseball, volleyball, yun po yung laro ko. Then pagdating sa high school, yung sa sport din ako sa mga throwing event, athletics, sumasali ako. Then before mag-graduate sa high school, doon ako pumasok sa bike. Mahilig din ako sa bike. Then hanggang pagdating ko sa Manila, yun, nag-start na yung nakita ko may larong duathlon, then sumasama na din po ako sa larong. Nag-start po ako 2012 sa duathlon po, na nakakuha na po ako, nag-overall sa mga age cut ko po hanggang pinasali na ako po sa elite na po category kasi bawal na po ako maglaro sa age cut, kaya doon na po ako nagkuhan sa elite category hanggang nakilala po ako ng may sponsor sa Standard Insurance. Kinuha po ako nila din until nag-okay na din ako sa performance ko po. Nakita siguro ng national team na may performance po ako or may potential. Kaya kinuha po ako sa Philippine national team ng duathlon po.
Welcome back to In Focus. When it comes to hosting massive sporting events such as the SEA Games, of course, massive planning is required.
And an essential part of that serious planning is choosing the locations that will perfectly fit the demands of the different competitions involved.
And with that in mind, let's learn about the venues that were picked for the Southeast Asian Games' largest staging with a special feature from Bea Escudero.
The 30th Southeast Asian Games will be held here in the Philippines. Let's find out where are the said venues for the Games. The Philippines will host the biggest Southeast Asian Games in history with 56 sports in 54 venues. There will be 4 designated clusters or hubs for the Games: Clark, Subic, Metro Manila, and other areas such as Batangas, La Union, and Tagaytay. The Clark Hub will be for aquatics and athletics and these games. Subic cluster for beach volleyball, canoe, kayak, triathlon, duathlon, and these games. Metro Manila will host basketball, volleyball, esports, gymnastics, and these sports. Cycling and polo will be held in Tagaytay and Batangas, football in Binyan, surfing in La Union, underwater hockey in Vermosa, netball in Santa Rosa, and floorball and indoor hockey in Los Baños. Excited for the 2019 Southeast Asian Games? Don't forget to support our Pinoy athletes na lalaban para sa bayan.
And that is the show, ladies and gentlemen. We hope that we've ushered the 2019 SEA Games to your doorsteps as smoothly as possible. And now, we move on to bigger things.
That is right. It's time to see how the work in the gym will translate to the big stage. And more importantly, it's time for the entire nation to come together and support our Filipino athletes.
In behalf of my partner, Paolo del Rosario, I'm Erika Padilla Cariaso, and this has been In Focus, the 30th Southeast Asian Games update.
Membrillos sa Barangay Ermita. Nakumpiska naman sa kanila ay